This is an overview of how most lenders view most income types. When a lender is reviewing your income, we will determine the qualifying income, meaning what is the income we can use for your debt to income ratio. For every single guideline that I go over here, there is a program out there that will ignore it or calculate it differently or have some other interpretation. So please, if any of these points make you go, ooh, that doesn't work for me, reach out to your lender, start the pre-approval process early so you can find the program that works best for you. Let's dive in. The first income we're going to go over is W-2 income. Anybody who receives a W-2 at the end of their year falls in this category. It's also considered the simplest form of income to calculate. And with that, oftentimes there is a misunderstanding that, well, but that's my hourly. Isn't that just an easy calculation? When in fact, there are a lot of nuances. So I'm going to go into some of those nuances. In a W-2 employee, in that arena, we are looking at two basic categories, your fixed and your variable. Your fixed income is your salary. And of everything I talk about in this whole video about income, this is the one time when what you make is likely what we're going to count, salary. As soon as we get into variable income, then there are formulas that we use. Examples of variable income are if you have an hourly rate, if you have seasonal work, if you're on a contract type of employment situation, or you're working with a union. If you work any overtime, then that's going to add another layer of complexity. If there's any sort of shift differentials, like for nurses, that kind of setting, that's going to be its own formula. Or if you have any tip or bonus income. For variable income, we are looking at what you've earned over the last 24 months. Has it been consistent? And what is the likelihood of continuance in the future? Definition of continuance is typically for the next 3 years. That's how that gets looked at. So for hourly income, we're going to be taking an average of what you've earned over the last 24 months. If you have recently shifted into an hourly position, then this can be challenging, and we'll need to really see what can be used as qualifying income. For seasonal income, it has to be common for the industry. We can take an average of all of your W-2s from your various jobs, and in this case, and in only this case, we can even count unemployment towards your income, which is kind of, I think, kind of wild because we can't do that in any other setting. But if receiving unemployment and having these different seasonal jobs is normal for your industry, and we can prove that's what you've been doing for the past several years and it will likely to continue, then we can use it. If you are a performer, and so you have a series of W-2s from, say, different theaters, then we can take an average of those W-2s as well. The thing that becomes challenging in this setting is you have to be employed at one of these W-2s that we're counting at the time of closing. Making sure that we're qualifying you on a job that's going to continue once you find a house and close on it is a logistical challenge and doable. If you maintain more than one job, that can be used, both jobs can be used if we can prove that you have maintained both jobs for at least 2 years. This is to ensure that folks don't just go get a second job in order to qualify for a mortgage, but then they can't really sustain that long term because, wow, that's bloody hard. And many people really do maintain more than one job for years on end. And so the industry does allow for counting both of those jobs with the proof that you've been doing it for a long time and you can keep it up. And there is an overview of salary, hourly, income next week. I'm going to do a deeper dive into overtime and shift differentials because that's its own beast. So next week you'll get info on that.